Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. The effect I want to introduce today, it is to use SDF to create various, the effective particle aggregation model. You can see that there are flame particles aggregated into human shapes. You can also change different models. We can also create a feeling similar to the projected particles in science fiction movies. We can also apply it to environmental effects. Then let the snow particles pass through the SDF information, aggregate into the shape we want. Then let's start making it now. I used Unity 2023 URP project this time. After creating a new project, remember to check if VFX Graph is installed first. Then you can check Virtual Effects in Professional. The top two options should be checked. Now create a VFX Graph file. Let's make the fire particles first. Name it Fire Particles. After dragging it into the scene, select Edit to open it. Now start making VFX graphics nodes. Let's first change the bounds mode to manual. Then delete the unnecessary nodes. Let's first increase the number of particles. We want to make a floating flame particle. Then we add a set position that is sphere. Move to the center of the scene. Add a turbulence in Add Pay particle. You can see that the particles begin to disturb irregularly. Let's adjust its parameters. Let's change its render mode to overlay. Then change the texture. Here is a long strip texture. Change it to this. Remove some unnecessary nodes. Then let's make the particles grow longer as they drift away. Set a set scale XYZ here. Then create a few nodes next to it. Let the particles stretch randomly. Copy to multiply. Set two values here. Connect the top one to X and Z. Connect the bottom one to Y. We can see that only the Y-axis of the particle is stretched. We can add another scale here. Change its mode to add. Let's extend its y-axis a little bit. Add color. Let's adjust the color to orange. Make it more like a flame. The front should be brighter and the back should be darker. The final color is a little darker. Okay. Let's increase the number of its particles. Also extend its lifetime. There is a floating flame particle effect, but its current dynamics will not change. The way it scatters will not change. Now we add a string of nodes, so that it can change its scattering mode over time. We need to string a node next to turbulence. Let the particles can change along different axes over time. Connect this to the position of turbulence. Now let's change this variable to 1. You will see that the particle dispersion will change. You can also make it stronger. The particle dispersion pattern will begin to change over time. You can also adjust the y-axis. This way you can create flame particles that change and oscillate over time. Adjust the color a little bit. Make it not so bright in the middle. Next we will add SDF. Let's add a conform to SDF in Update Particle. It has a preset SDF. Remove it first. Try adjusting the parameters inside. Let's reset its attraction force to 0. Then particles will not be affected. Now let's talk about how to make SDF. It has been mentioned in many previous videos. If you have seen this before, you can skip it. We use the SDF bake tool. Then put the mesh part of the model in. Remember to open the model for reading and writing first. Then we adjust its size to a square. Then select a bake mesh. An SDF file will be generated. You can save it where you want. We have a lot of SDF files that we have made before. Let's put a character in first. Adjusting parameters. We can see the particles being sucked into the center. Let's enlarge its size. The particles have aggregated into a human shape. Let's adjust the drag a little bit. If you adjust the stick distance less, it will not completely absorb the particles. You can see that some of its particles still float out. Let's add a texture 3D here. Name it SDF. Then drag it to the SDF detention fault here. It can let us change the SDF file externally. Add another float here. Name it stick distance. Then we go outside and select the special effects file. You can see this column. Put the SDF file you want in. Then increase the stick distance. You can see that more particles will fly out. If you adjust it to 0.5, you will find that all particles are affected by it. You can adjust it to 0.3, and some particles will fly out. Let's try another SDF file. When set stick distance to 0, it will automatically dissipate, return to its original state. You can also make your own SDF file. Then adjust it to the color you want. Make a lot of different effects. Next, let's do another applied effect. Create a new VFX Graph file. Name it Snow Particle. Making falling snow. The production method is very simple. Let's do it quickly here. Adjust the lifetime. To achieve this kind of aggregation model effect, remember that the particle lifetime should be longer. The effect will be more obvious. Set the range of particles falling down. We set its set position range to the entire window. Change texture. Adjust the alpha. Add a random size to make it bigger or smaller. Let's give it a little bit of a wind-blown feeling. The force to the left is slightly stronger. Then we add a turbulence. Adjust the parameters. That's it. Add another confirm to SDF. You can see that the particles are completely absorbed. Let's adjust it. You don't need such a strong effect. Pull it to the external parameters first. Pull in the characters SDF. Adjust the parameters. It's too small now. The size needs to be enlarged. It's too high now, because it starts from the original center point. You can adjust this side to adjust the position. You also can move VFX down a little bit. But if you move the whole effect down, the snow will follow it down. If you just want to move the position of the SDF, just adjust the position of the center in this. We can add a float here. Pull out the stick force. We will use this to control this time. The snow is floating around. Now we increase its force. It will aggregate into the shape of SDF. Let's adjust the parameters. To achieve the effect we want, it depends on whether you want a slightly sucked effect. Or do you want the human figure to be tightly gathered? It also depends on the number of particles. The shape of the particles is more obvious when there are more particles. Then I copy another snow effect. It is just to make an unaffected falling snow. Let the part in the middle that would have been sucked in. There are also naturally falling snowflakes. Let's try another SDF. The shape of the teapot. Turn it to 0 and it will slowly spread out. Okay, this is the example of snow. Let's look at the next application. I found a model that looks a bit like a teleporter in a sci-fi movie. This time, we will copy the fire particle. Rename it. Open it in and start editing. First, remove the turbulence. Let's try to make it feels like a particle model is projected from the floor. Add a float to pull out the attraction speed. Then put in a human-shaped SDF. You can see the shape of a person. It's too long now. Let's adjust it. Let's make it smaller. It's like particles are emitted from the platform. It feels like it's aggregated into a model. Let's adjust it again. Let's not let the particles have different orientations. I want to make a particle with a fixed direction. Then adjust the color. Change it to a sci-fi blue. Turn this off as well. Let the particles slowly form from bottom to top. Reduce the number of particles. The bottom is a bit too bright. Adjust color again. Try another SDF. Let's change to the elk one. Then the teapot one. Adjust the alpha at the beginning a little more. Remember that if you move the position directly, its starting point will also be raised. Let's reset it to 0. The particles will slowly disappear. We can see it gather into a ball at the bottom. Without SDF, it is now aggregated into a sphere. Let's adjust it. We can change the original set position. It can be changed to circle. Then it will be a ring by default. You can also create a feeling of time and space. Another feeling. Now I want to flip it. Make it fit the surface. Align it with the original ring pattern below. Adjust the position and size slightly. It looks like the light radiating from the original base. When you apply the SDF, it will aggregate into the shape you want. Okay. These 3 cases are today's tutorial. I hope it helps you. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel. If you want the project files, you can join my Patreon membership or use the link in the comments to purchase related projects. Thank you. See you next time.